Good morning, all of you. So, as we know, in last class, I taught you ions. So, can anybody tell me what is the types of ions we have? We are having two kinds of ions. Anyone? Please. Yes, please. One is, and another one is called as, yes, please. What is that? All of you? Anions. So now you all notice it. Once again, I'm saying, remember cations means positive charge and anions means negative charge. Now, we all know if you take any kind of atom of an element, if you have taken, so what is the charge of this one, Hari? Is it neutral or positive or negative? That is what I want. An atom is always what? Atom is always what? Electrically neutral. Do you understand? It is not stable. Understand, Mitakshri? Atoms are not stable in nature, but electrically neutral in nature. Do you understand, everyone? Except noble gases, like as I already taught, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. These are called as noble gases. So, other than these noble gases, all the atoms are not stable in nature, but they are electrically neutral in nature. Means in the sense of, for any atom of an element, number of protons is equals to number of electrons. Means in the sense of protons, what is the charge of proton? Arun, what is the charge of proton? Positive charge, and number of electrons charge is negative. So for a given atom, if I have given, for example, some atom, I don't know, this is my atom. So which will be having, if I'll say, for example, 10 protons, then definitely it will be having 10 electrons. If I'll say having an atom having one proton, means definitely it is having one electron. If I'll say 100 protons, definitely it is having 100 electrons. For like this, for a given atom, always the number of protons is equals to number of electrons. And that is why it is called as it is electrons are negative charge, protons are positive charge, always number is equal. For example, 100 minus 100, both are equal and opposite charge. Physics, do you remember? Action is equals to what?
Minus reaction.
Minus reaction. The same way as we know. For example, I will say minus 5t square. Physics will say plus 5t square. Both will get what?
Cancel.
It will become zero. The same way, when we are having the same number of protons and same number of electrons, their charges remain always same. They both will be equal, so that the charge of an atom is zero. So electrically neutral. Do you understand, everyone? Any doubt? Please let me know. Are you clear? Arani, Johan? Now, electrically neutral. Now, this atom, if it will lose the electron, atom, by loss of electrons, it will turn into positive charge or negative charge. You have to tell me, all of you. It will turn into what? Positive charge. That is what we will say cation. So cation, who is more, guys? Number of protons are more or number of electrons are more? I want to know the answer. Number of protons are extra. Okay, that is why here atom is turns into ion by loss of electrons, called as what electrons, guys? They will turns into positive charge because it is going to lose the electron. So number of electrons are decreasing. That is why it is called as cation. So I'm saying very slowly now. If any atom, if it receives the electrons, receives, or we will say gain the electrons, then it is turns into negative charge. What is the negative charge name called as? Yes, please. Anion, which is negatively charged. So here who is extra? Number of electrons are extra. That is what it will happen. Is it understand everyone? Please respond. Yes, please. Now, and one more thing I taught you, you might be remember some of you, but maybe not all. Electrons by loss of electrons, the number of shells will decreases or increases. That is what my question. Anybody? Number of cells will decreases or increases? Yes, please answer to my question. Akilan, Gokul. I taught you last class. Yes, Mitakshri, Harish. Decreases by one cell. Once again, I will teach you as it is very important now. So, for example, if we take sodium. Sodium, what is the symbol, guys? Na. Okay. So now, the number of electrons, number of protons are how many number of protons? All of you, 11. Number of electrons are also 11. So that is what atom. So first of all, I want to say you all what is atom. Atom is having 3 subatomic particles. What is the 3 subatomic particles? All of you, at least that tell me. That is protons, and next one is what? Electrons, and as well as neutrons. So protons are positive charge, electrons are negative charge, neutrons are no charge. Are you clear? Yes, please. Now,
Yes.
the center, if you notice it, protons and neutrons are present. That is what we used to say nucleus. So nucleus always present in the center of the atom, which is neutrons are no charge. So that is why we will consider nucleus charge. What is the charge of nucleus? Everybody. What is the charge of nucleus? Harish? Positive. Understanding? Because protons are present. Now, electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a particular shell, or we will say orbit. Shell or orbit. So that is what we used to say electrons. So which are actually negative charge. How much charge, everyone? They are called as electrons, which are negatively charged particles, which are roaming in the particular orbit around the nucleus. So now, this is what we used to call as atom. Now, if you take the sodium atom, basically, if you notice it very carefully, it is having 11 electrons. Okay. Now, remember who will involve in the chemical reaction? Who will involve in the chemical reaction?
Electrons.
Yes, chemical reaction, always electrons only. So no protons will take place. Now, if we take the sodium atom, it is having 11 protons and 12 neutrons in the nucleus, and surrounding first shell, and it is having a second cell, and it is having a third cell. So first shell, it is having how many electrons? Anybody can tell? I already taught you, correct? 2 electrons. Second shell, it is having 8 electrons. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Ashwin Balaji, are you understanding, Ashwin? And third cell is having only 1 electron. So what is that electron arrangement? 2, 8, 1. This is what we'll study in the next chapter, which is known as electronic configuration. What is to call? Electronic configuration means arrangement of electrons. Arrangement of electrons, we used to call electronic configuration, which we'll study in the 4th chapter. Okay. Now, as I taught you, sodium will lose the electron or will gain the electron. Open your mouth. Everyone should answer. Mr. Ashwin, you have, please kindly leave from the meeting. I don't have patience to say you more than this. I cannot. You also. It will lose the electron. This is a sodium atom. Sodium atom it is. So it will lose the electron or gain the electron?
Lose the electrons.
Yes, it will lose or lose the electron. How many electrons? One electron.
One.
The electron which we used to say, which is going to be lost, and it will turns into like this nucleus again. How many protons? Nucleus 11 protons, 12 neutrons, and first cell it is having 2 electrons, and the second cell it is having how many electrons? 8 electrons. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now third cell gone because third electron is removed. Electron is removed so that the cell is also gone. So now here number of cells is 3. Here number of cells is 2. Now tell me, who is bigger? Atom is bigger or ion is bigger?
Atom is bigger.
Or ion is bigger? Ionic, yes please. Mitakshri, Harish, Gokul.
Atom is bigger.
Atom is bigger. This is the sodium ion. Sodium ion. Which ion? Cation or anion? That is my answer. That is my question. Yes, please. Cation. Understanding, Mitakshri? Not the ion. Cation is smaller than the atom. Understand, Hari? Abhirami?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can write the size of the cation. The size of the cation, that is a point I want to teach. That is why this much I am teaching. The size of the cation is always smaller than its neutral atom. Harini, at least chart you can respond, Harini, either you understand or not. Neutral atom. So what is the example? Sodium atom is greater than sodium plus, that is what sodium ion. Is it true or not, guys? Yes, please.
Yes.
That is
Yes,
what
sir.
number. Or I will write like this. Sodium atom ion is less than sodium atom. So both are same only. Please remember. So that is what it will happen. Now, if we take the same way anion, as we know, some atoms will gain the electrons. Is it completed? Completed means let me know. Or else I will wait. No issues. I don't mean a hurry. Is it completed? I want to know. Hari Jairas, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So just now I said one statement that cations. Cations means you know positive charge or negative charge.
Positive charge.
Yeah. So it is by loss of electrons or gain of electrons? By loss of electrons. Understand, Harish, Jairus? Cations will form by loss of electrons. So whenever the atom will lose the electron, the number of shells will decreases. Means the size of the ion will decreases when loss of the electron. Understand, Harish, Jairus? That is what I am teaching now.
Yes, sir.
Cation always smaller than the atom. That is what you have to remember. Now, let us go for the second type of ions. That is what we will say anions. What is the second one, everyone? Anion. So anion means, tell me, either it will form by receives the electrons or by loss of electrons or by donating electrons. Anyone?
Receives electrons.
Sir.
Receiving or gaining electrons. Okay. Now, you are having, for example, you are having a crew of 10 members. Now suddenly Harish Jairas is added. Means count become 11. Now tell me, your team size is appears to be little bigger or smaller. Anyone?
Bigger, sir.
Bigger. That is what in the case of anion also. So anions means we know that another thing we used to say. What is the name of this one? Anybody? The elements which will form the anions called as something. Yes, Mitakshri? Harish, the elements which will form the anions. Akilan, can you tell me? We used to call something. Yes. Nobody?
Electron.
Electronegative elements. Do you remember, Akilan? I taught you the last class. The atoms which will form the positive cations is called as electropositive elements. The elements who can form the anions is called as electronegative elements. Do you remember or not? Yes. So
Yes,
elements, they will receive or gains the electrons. So for example, if you take the chlorine atom, so which will be having a nucleus. So approximately I'm saying, so as we know, protons and neutrons. Now, first cell it will be having 2 electrons, second cell it is having 8 electrons, and third cell it is having 7 electrons. 2, 8, 7. That is what the number of electrons is present. Totally how many electrons? Count it and tell me. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is 2. Now tell me please, how many electrons totally? 2, 2, 8, 7. How much are the totally? Number of electrons?
17.
17. Okay. Now, this chlorine atom it is. Chlorine atom. So, it is electrically stable in nature. But generally, is it stable or unstable? It is unstable atom. So, to become stable, it will gain how many electrons or it will receive how many electrons? To become stable, by gaining how many electrons? Everyone? By gaining 1 electron, it will become stable in nature. Means number of electrons become 2, 8, 8. To become stable in nature, it will receive 1 electron. Now, means in the sense of nucleus having protons and neutrons. First cell, second cell, and third cell. So now how many electrons? Tell me. This is the atom, chlorine atom, and this is called as chlorine ion. Chlorine ion. Is it we should say chlorine ion, or we used to say name called as chloride? Last class I have written you as a chloride. Do you remember? Is it chloride or chlorine ion? Anyone? It is the chlorine ion, not. It is the chloride ion. That is also I will teach you today. It will form the chloride ion, which is called as an ion. All of you remember an ion, which is number of electrons is more than protons. So first cell 2 electrons, second cell 8 electrons, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the third cell also 8 electrons. How many electrons it gains? They'll never open the mouth. Mr. Arun, never say. You beg me also, I will never open my mouth, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that is what? 2, 8, 8. So that's all. 1 electron is extra. So that is why the anion, chlorine anion, we will say Cl minus. Now, if you notice it very carefully, both of you, all of you. So, is there any change in the number of cells? Here also number of cells are 3. And here also number of cells are how many guys? 3 only. But 1 electron is increasing. So, that is why no change in the cells. But cations, 1 cell is decreasing. But anions, no change in the cell. But due to the addition of electron, the size appears to be little bigger. That is why, who is bigger? Anion is bigger or atom is bigger? All of you. Yes, please.
Anion is bigger.
The size of the, write it, anion. The size of the anion is larger than is larger than its neutral atom. Hope everybody understand. Any doubt? Let me know. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Gokul, Agilan,
Yes, sir.
that is you have to remember. So, example I will say, chlorine ion is greater than chlorine atom, or chlorine atom is less than chlorine ion. Anybody is having any doubt? Please let me know, or else please write it. Hope understand Mitaksri, any doubt Mitaksri? Aswin Balaji?
No doubt, sir.
Now, one more, is it completed? Tell me. Harish, understand Harish Jaras? So anybody is having any doubt, please ask me. Or else now one more thing I'll say. You see guys, before I said sodium ion atom and sodium ion is I am saying. So if we take the cation, is very, very important while writing the formula. Cation means I am saying atom and ion with the same name. You might be noticed. What is a sodium atom? Suppose example if we take sodium atom. And what is the name I am saying ion name? Anyone can tell me?
Sodium ion.
Understanding? So cations, no change in the name. The name, no change for cations. Atom and ion, name is same. Just you will get here sodium atom and this is sodium ion. But if we take the anions is not like that. Atom is different name. Ion is some other different name. For example, if we'll take chlorine. Chlorine is the atom or ion? I want the response. Chlorine is the atom. Coming to the ion. Is it a chlorine ion or chloride ion? Anybody?
Chloride.
Chloride ion.
Chloride ion. That is what? So what is happening here? ID is adding. Same way. Oxygen. If you take oxygen atom. But if coming to here, what will happen?
Oxide.
Ion. Understanding? If I take nitrogen, here we'll get nitride. Understanding? Or we will say nitrate ion. So do you notice the change? ID, AT, like this we are adding. Yes or no? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
That is. So in anions, when we are writing the ion name, we must add anions ends with suffix. So we have to add the suffix. What is the suffix we are adding here? Three things I will say. One is ID, next one is ID, next one is AT. We will get it in the future. When we are writing the chemical compounds names, you will get that. So always remember, cations, no change in the name. But anions, when you are writing, anions always ends with a suffix called as ID, IT, and AT. Is it okay, guys? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
That is you have to remember it. Now, for example, if I'll say name of the cations and as well as let us discuss the symbol also. So first, tell me what is the cation? Positive charge or negative charge? I want the answer. Positive charge or negative charge? Cations.
Positive charge, sir.
Anions, negative charge. Now, with the information what I taught you here, now let us discuss. Now, I will take the atom. First, cations, guys. Let me take the element name. So, element means atom, actually, one atom, and cation, and as well as symbols. I don't want to give you all, just few I will give you for idea. Okay? Same way for cation and all. Now, element. Let me take hydrogen. Hydrogen atom or element both are same. Now what is the cation will form? It will lose one electron. Understanding? By loss or by gain? Loss. one electron. Okay, one electron. So that it will turns into what? Anybody can tell me? How many it will turns?
H
H plus. So hydrogen atom. Hydrogen atom. Okay, same it is. So what is the symbol? H plus. Sir, I'm confusing. You can write H plus 1 also. Is it okay? Clear, Arun Kailash? Now, let me take, as we all know, sodium. Just now we studied. How many electrons it will lose? One electron.
One electron.
It will turns into sodium atom. Sodium atom. And what is the symbol? Na plus. Or we will say Na plus 1. Please remember that. Now, same way if we take, for example, iron. Iron, if I'll consider as a ferrous, because it is a variable valency, it will lose 2 electrons. How many electrons it will lose? Everyone? 2 electrons will lose, and it will turns into iron atom. Iron atom, or we will say ferrous atom. What is the name of this one? 2 electrons means what should come? 2 electrons means ferrous. Please keep it in mind. So what is symbol will come? Anybody? Symbol of ferrous, iron. Fe, 2 plus. 2 electrons it is lost. So 2 plus. And same iron. If it is ferric, very, very important. Ferric means it will lose the 3 electrons. Loss 3 electrons. So means still what is the name of this one? Atom. Iron. And the name is same, ferric only. And symbol is Fe. What will come? Gokul?
Fe3 plus.
Fe3 plus. That is you have to remember. Same way, if we take calcium, it will also lose 2 electrons. So what is the name it will come? Calcium only. Do you understand it? Calcium ion. And what is the symbol will come? Ca2 plus. Understanding? So this is how always the cations names will never change from their respective elements. Elements and cations, they always have the same name. Is it okay, guys? Are you clear, everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Hope everybody understand. Now, let us come to the anions. Is it anions are same or different names? Gokul?
Different name.
Different
names.
Their anion ends with what? Ends with ID, ends with IT, ends with the AT. So let us discuss everything with some example. Shall we discuss now? Now, if we
Yes,
take,
sir.
yes, if we take anion called as, we have studied already. What is the anion name? Chlorine atom. If we take chlorine atom, it will form what, guys? It will form chloride. Understanding? Chloride. So means it will lose, it will gain 1 electron. It will gain how many electrons? Gain how many electrons? Gain
1 electron.
1 electron.
Understanding? And it will turns into symbol Cl minus, or we will say Cl minus 1. Okay, same way, bromine, bromide, chlorine, chloride, bromine, bromide. Bromide also, how many electrons it will gain? 1 electron gain, and it will turns into bromide. Understanding?
Cl minus.
Same way, if we'll take iodide or fluoride, your choice, iodide, again how many? See here, ID is coming.
1 electron.
Means how many electrons? You will get remember by this time. Whenever you will get a Harizeras, and everybody observe, whenever you will get a IDE, means how many electrons it is lost, it is gaining. 1 electron. Understanding? And it will turns into
Electron.
iodine minus, iodide we will say. Are you clear? Now, let me take now again nitrite, IT will come. We are having the second one. What is the second suffix we have here? ITE. So now some polyatomic ions also will come. I will teach you in the later classes how it will forms. Now I will say nitrite. So what is the suffix here? Everyone should tell me. What is the suffix here? Ite. ITE, nitrite. Yes, please. ITE, suffix is ITE. So here, the symbol of this one, see here, it will also gains one electron. How many electrons it will gains? One electron, but the symbol is NO2 minus. That is what the symbol. That is what you have to remember. Sir, how it will forms? I will say you now. See, basically nitrogen need 3 electrons. Oxygen need 2 electrons. So one nitrogen react with the one oxygen so that 2 electrons will share. Okay, but remaining oxygen only 1 electron is shared because nitrogen already 3 over and oxygen need 1 more electron to become stable in nature. That is why it will gain how many electrons? Harish? How many electrons? It will gains the how many? 1 electron. That is what ITE. So now let us observe one more ITE. Sulfite. Sulfite. What is the suffix here? Anybody can tell? Sulfite. What is the suffix? ITE. So here also it will gain sulfite. If I'll take, it will gains 2 electrons. Needs 2 electrons to become nature. That name called as SO3 2 minus. 2 electrons it will take. Okay. Now same way I will take you now sulfate. Sulfate. What is the suffix here? Anybody can tell? What is the suffix here? ITE over. Now AT. Sulfate it will take. Sulfate is also need 2 electrons to become stable. Okay. Which is having SO4 2 minus. Understand Mitaksri? Harish? Harish, how am I writing?
Yes, sir.
What? ITE, you can see here. IDE, now ITE, now ATE. Now, let us take phosphate. Phosphate, you might be understand by this time. Again, how many electrons is needed? You know here, 3 electrons is needed to become its nature. The symbol is PO4 3 minus. What is the symbol? PO4 minus. Okay. That is next. If I'll say hydroxide, what is coming now? Suffix ID. ID means what electron? Only 1 electron. So it will come like OH minus. So keep it in mind, the ions which I am saying from here, we're having a special name for this one, which is called as polyatomic ions. What is to call? Polyatomic ions means more than one atom is present. Do you notice it? Yes or no? More than 1 atom is present or not?
Yes, sir.
That is why they are called as polyatomic ions. Please remember that. Same way, can you tell me nitride? Anybody now? Nitride. It is needs 3 electrons. So it is N3 minus. N3 minus. Okay. So please hope everybody understand. Anybody is having any doubt, kindly let me know. Are you clear, guys? Gokul? So always remember negative ions. Always the 3 suffixes. What is the 3 suffixes? Maybe IDE, sorry, one is IDE, second one is IT, and third one is AT. So these are the suffixes we have to add for while we are writing the chemical compound name. For example, the best example we can take, sodium will donate 1 electron, chlorine will receive 1 electron, and they will form a compound called as, anybody name, tell me what is the chemical compound name? So sodium ion is sodium only. And chlorine ion, what is the name of the chlorine ion? All of you?
Chloride.
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 So what is the name of the compound? Everybody.
Sodium chloride.
Sodium chloride.
That's all it is. Are you clear, everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
That is what you have to remember. For example, if you take calcium, it will give you 2 electrons, and hydroxide will take only 1. So if I write the formula, calcium CaOH twice will come. Now what is the name of the calcium? Calcium ion? Calcium only. And OH means what?
Hydroxide.
Hydroxide. So what is the name of that one?
Calcium hydroxide.
Hydroxide. See, here who is the anion, who is the cation? Calcium is the cation and OH minus is the what? Anion. So anion always ends with the ID, or AD. This is what you have to remember. Hope everybody clear?